having some technical difficulties, but we are here. Happy Tuesday. It's my favorite day of the week. I say this all the time because I get to be live with different professionals and different people who are able to just share in this time with us. So as per always, I thank all of you for being such amazing viewers and just being phenomenal. It's been, hello, Carmen. She's there every week. First one on. Thank you for being with us. It's been about 2 weeks now. The last time we were here, we were super high still on our Love Gala. That was just such an amazing success. I'm still on that high because it was an absolutely phenomenal evening. So thank you guys who attended, who are a part of it, who just took in that night with us. It was just such an amazing, amazing time. I needed a breather last week, people. I needed to like kind of relajarme un poquito, relax, go to bed early, do other things. I needed a self-care day. So I took my self-care day, but we are back this week and we're doing what we love. Before we get into tonight's topic and our guests, I want to do as I always do when we get on here at this time. If you or anyone that you love is dealing with domestic violence, whether it's someone that you know, a friend, a relative, a coworker, or you yourself, make sure to reach out to the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-7233 or our website at loveshouldnothurt.com or any of our social media platforms. We are here 24 hours a day to serve you. If we cannot serve you with what it is that you need, we will absolutely find you the resources to do so. So tonight, we always try to bring topics at hand that are super important to the community and those who are actually listening and watching, because sometimes you have absolutely no idea what the answers are. There's so many questions about what should I do, what happens, who goes through what. We had an amazing show a few weeks ago with Eddie Lopez, who's been a police officer in Philadelphia for 32 years. He was able to tell us the perspective of police officers when domestic violence calls come in, and that was such a phenomenal evening. But we have a lot of first responders, correct? A lot of first responders who deal with domestic violence. And after sitting and doing a lot more research, hello, Lucy, I see you. I saw today that it is super important to talk about those who are in the ER, because it looks like lots of times they are the first people who see these domestic violence victims before we even get the chance or the opportunity to speak to them. So tonight I have the distinct pleasure of having on an amazing woman who has seen me since I was a little girl. And every time people say that, they're like, you're 40 when you were little. Yeah, when I was little, okay? When I was little. You won't believe it when you see these guests, because these women look amazing for their age. Like, they're like my goals for life, because I already feel old and these women look superb. So she's known me since I was little, and I am so excited to have her on. We are bringing on tonight Linette Caraballo, who is going to give us her perspective of when she worked in the ER and she was coming into contact with domestic violence victims. So let's welcome Linette. Hello, hon.
Hi, how are you? Can you hear me?
I hear you perfectly. You sound great.
All
How are
right.
you?
Thank you for having me on the show and to talk about the medical professional's perspective. It's a topic that's near and dear to my heart. It's something that we see all the time,
Yeah.
especially working in the inner city hospitals here in Philadelphia.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
thank you.
You're welcome.
If I can help anybody tonight with anything that I share, it's a win.
Always. That's what we always see. Even if one person who is watching feels like they've gotten information that they need, it is absolutely a victory for us. So thank you for being here. Thank you for responding to my outcry of people. we always have people out there who are watching, and I know that all of you have a lot of different expertise. So I'm always like, let me just put it out there and see who responds to it. So it was exciting to see that it was you that responded to it, because I've known you for so long, and you've seen me from a little girl to where I am now. So I know you're not in the ER anymore. So tell us the background about what it is that you do, who you are, where you've gotten to, and how you've gotten here. Talk to us.
Okay, sure. So I was an ER nurse for over 21 years. I've been a nurse for over 26. Before I went to ER, I worked with L&D. So I worked with women also at that point, and children that were abused. But when I worked in the ER for trauma in the emergency department for 21 years, in Florida for a couple more years in the ERs over there, where human trafficking actually was really big down there. So we used to screen for that. And now I'm a cosmetic nurse injector, own my own business, and it's still in service, helping others, speaking and self-development. I'm a John Maxwell speaker, leader, trainer, and coach. So that's what I'm working on now, is just giving everybody what I've learned over these years, and just developing people. That's what I love to do.
Oh, that's awesome. Cool. That's good to know. I didn't know. I know that you walked away from that sector of emergency room,
Hmm.
but I didn't know specifically what your business was. I always watched the page, but I didn't know specifically what you did. So
Yeah.
that's good to know. So you worked for, you said 21 years in the emergency room. Wow. So, besides domestic violence, you saw a lot of craziness, I'm
A
sure.
lot. Our city is known for violence, and that's it's unfortunate. Kind of takes a toll on you. 5 years, I think, is the average nurse burnout in an ER in
And
the
you
city.
survived 21.
21. Yeah, in retrospect, we look back, but like in it, you're helping people, so you don't feel
Right.
that,
Yeah.
you go in it for the right reason. So
Wow. Well, that's awesome. Thank you again for your service. Because let me tell you, you see so many things, in the medical field, and my sister's done it for so many years, and
mhm.
I always ask myself, I don't know how she does it. I don't know how she has for it. I could never have done it, not at all. So give us a little. I was looking up a bunch of different things. So before I even go into what you
Mhm.
dealt with, I'm gonna tell you some of the things that I saw today, and maybe you can respond to that and say, yes, that was my
Okay.
perspective on it. So some of the things that I looked at today, says the emergency department usually is the first point of care for domestic violence victims. It says it's estimated that 14% of women treated in the ER are there for domestic violence related conditions, which is terrible, and accounts for at least 1.4 million ER visits annually. Oh my God. So you were there for 21 years. I'm going to assume that the ER is like a revolving door. What was that like, coming into contact with domestic violence victims? I mean, I'm sure that there was a different, array of types of victims.
There are like the overt kind where you don't really know that that's what they're there for. It could be more like emotional type, anxiety, depression, panic attacks, where they come in. They're leaving a bad situation, and that's how they're manifesting that, or having that reaction,
Right.
to physical violent acts, where deaths and just abuse, fractures, things of that nature. So a huge array of how people present to the ER. And I just wanted to touch on, like, the medical perspective. They
Mhm.
train us. They train us to like look for signs of abuse. That's kind of one of our questions when someone comes in. That is like an open doorway for anyone being abused to kind of speak up at that point, because we ask.
Yeah, that
We
was
ask.
actually something that I read.
Hmm.
They said that you have a limited time to get that person's perspective. Like to kind of gain their trust, I guess.
Yes.
It said something. It didn't say the nurses. It said doctors have a limited amount
Hmm.
of time when they come in to kind of get it out of them. So,
Yeah.
but they said things like chest pain, or like things that I would think, because I don't know anything about healthcare,
Hmm.
things that I would think they would ask, like stroke and heart attack. It says that, like, if someone comes in there saying they have
Hmm.
chest pains or pains in their arms, that those are questions that you guys ask, are
Hmm.
you being abused, and things like that.
Yeah.
Is that the type of terminology that you would use? Like, are you being abused, or is there like things that you say that are different to try to
You
be?
can make it more your own, because I think that when you make it a little bit more personal,
Yeah.
there'll be a little bit more forthcoming with the information. And if it's too scripted, I feel like people aren't going to share. If it's just like a question on your list.
Yeah.
But if it's a complaint, or like, do you feel safe at home? Everything okay? And you always try to ask those questions when patients are alone, not when they have like a partner
Yeah.
with them. You always find that little opportunity when they're not together, because that is one of the huge things, where they sometimes the perpetrators with the patient,
Yeah.
and they don't even let the patient speak.
Speak. Yeah.
So when you have that small little opportunity or window to have that conversation with the patient, ask that question, that's you seize that opportunity.
Wow. So were there any, I have so many questions. Were there any instances like what you just referred to where
Mhm.
you feel like I'm sure throughout the years there was so
Mhm.
many like different people you've come into contact with, but was there a time or a point where you came in contact with a domestic violence victim where you could tell something was going on, but the abuser was there? And like maybe later on, they offered up the information.
There have been a few. There have been a few, yes, where like the pattern and everything, the patient was very like, they could be very anxious.
Yeah.
They don't want to say anything.
Mhm.
And then when you have that moment alone, that's when they say everything. And then we kind of try to take them to the side, get them the resources, connect them with social work, so social work can start working on a plan for them. And we try like, oh, they're an X-ray, or we try to,
Yeah.
divert like that person and say they're still
Right.
somewhere,
Yeah.
but to protect them. I mean, because that's what we're trying to do, is create that safe space
Yeah.
to allow for that to happen. But a lot of people fear. A lot of people fear
Absolutely.
just the start of anything, trying to get out of that situation, which
Yeah.
is frustrating for us
I'm
because we
sure.
don't want to send people home to that
Yeah.
situation again. So
I'm sure there's so with that being said, I'm sure that there was moments where you guys probably felt like, oh my God, my hands are tied, because maybe that person kind of didn't want to divulge the information and then went home with that person. Wow.
mhm,
So when we spoke about it through the inbox really quickly, and I spoke about what it was I was
mhm,
looking for, your response was, that you have dealt with it throughout the years,
mhm,
and that, and
mhm,
then there were some cases that you were able to help and some that you lost. Were
mhm.
there, how do you guys, in that sense, what do you mean lost? Like when they've come into the ER and they're so badly hurt that you lose them, or you find out
So
that they leave?
now that we have like technology, and
Mhm.
we had the opportunity to look at previous visits, and we can see visits, and we can trend injuries, like what their
Yeah.
current, like, and we can see a pattern of why people are coming in.
Yeah.
So in some of those instances, patients have come in and out that revolving door, which is the ER, and they've had patterns, and then now there's this huge trauma, and that whole thing was leading up to this situation
Yeah.
that brought them in that day. So I mean that's the frustrating part, where you can't help anybody until they want to help. They want the
Absolutely.
help. You can't make that call unless they say, yes, make that call for me, because
Yeah.
you can't invade anybody's privacy.
Mhm.
And if they're not ready, they're not ready. All you can do is keep giving them those resources
Versus
to try to get the help.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
unfortunate because even in the day to day, not just even in the medical field, but just
Mhm.
in general, even
Mhm.
with what it is that I do,
Mhm.
first of all, I lived through it, so I know.
Mhm.
I know that it took so many beatings and so many years for me to get up to the point where I like, all right, I'm done,
Mhm.
type of thing. But I had folks who kind of had inklings and were just like, you need to get out of this, you need to get out of this, and I'm like, okay, and I never left, so I can
Right.
get it from that perspective. So I try, I guess, because in the position I'm in now, I just want to help everybody. I want to
Mhm.
save everybody, right? But I also have to take a step back sometimes and say, okay, Chrissy, you were here. You went through this. You know exactly what
Mhm.
these people are going through. You know the emotions they're going through right now. And I try to tell that to parents, to family members, to different people who are
Mhm.
frustrated, and not
Mhm.
frustrated out of anger, but like you said, frustrated more because of concern,
Mhm.
especially when it's their child or some relative close to them, because they really want to be like, listen, like
Yeah.
get out, wake up.
Mhm.
So it's always frustrating, and I always
Mhm.
tell them, someone recently asked me. I went to speak to a group of middle schoolers,
Mhm.
and one of the questions that was asked towards me with a middle schooler was, what happens if I know that my mom, and this is a kid who's like
Mhm.
12 years old, what
Wow.
happens if my mom or my aunt or someone that I know and I love, I know they're being hurt, I know what domestic violence is, and they don't want the help, what do I do? I said, you know what, beautiful, you have to continue to love on them. Continue to remind your mom or your aunt that you love them, and that if they were ever not a part of your life, it would be so hard. Continue to do what it is that's going to remind them, I want to get out of here for them. And this
Mhm.
is the same thing I say to adults when they call me about their kids and they're like, I'm frustrated, I'm done with her, I'm not dealing with this anymore.
Mhm.
I'm like, keep loving on them. Don't give up on them. It's frustrating. It's oh my God, so frustrating. My family and friends were frustrated with me and were angry with me, and you have to just continue to. So I can't even imagine what in the medical field you guys, because you're even more like kind of like hands crossed, because you're there and you're like, oh, I want to help. But like, he's
Mhm.
here, he's sitting in the room. I can't say much to her. Is there a specific recollection or memory that you have of maybe a case in the ER that kind of has stood with you, like something just that you're like, oh, I remember this?
Mm, it wasn't so much. There's been so many, but it's not only even like domestic spouse and stuff. Like I've dealt with elderly abuse too,
Oh yeah.
where it's a family member in
Mhm.
the same home, you
Yeah.
know, with, not caring for the family member properly, and just poor outcomes for the patient because of that.
Mhm.
It's just like sad stories like that, like just they just kind of seep into you.
Yeah.
and you want to protect them from that. But a lot of times, like, they're not like stories where I can say they wanted the help and they got out, they got out from the ER perspective, because a lot of them don't want the help, or they'll call it maybe a family member for the night and do that. And we don't get the follow up on
Yeah.
what happens after.
Which I'm
But
sure sucks for you guys, right? Because you probably put the energy into it while you're there and you want to
mhm,
protect this person. And then once they walk out the door, it's like, that's it.
you don't know unless they roll back in or come back in as another visit. Sorry.
Yeah.
But it's not like just frustration, it's worry too. Like, you worry about them, you sit there thinking in your bed at night after your shift, like, I wonder what's going to happen, I wonder. And those feelings, that emotion that's stays with you.
So one of the things that I saw,
Hmm.
they actually stated that there wasn't um as much training as individuals would need in the medical field. So what
Hmm.
forms of training, and not to be in depth because I don't know what legalities there are, but
Hmm.
do you guys get something, because this is something that I've partnered with the police districts
Hmm.
around me, and we've made sure to make sure that there's follow-up with training, so like a
Hmm.
yearly training and things like that. What for, like, do you guys have something that's like quarterly, yearly? Like, is this something that actually, and my biggest question I ask everybody for well, I don't care where you work,
Hmm.
is domestic violence something that is important in this workplace? Like, is this something that they're like, let's do this training yearly or monthly?
Absolutely. In the emergency department, everywhere that I've worked, absolutely. It's been a major thing in the ERs to at least screen for it when you're doing your triage assessment.
Mhm.
We try to make sure that every patient is completely undressed, because that hidden stuff is
Yeah,
kind of like, that's the marker for us.
yeah,
Um, and we do trainings like during the triage assessments and stuff,
mhm,
about what signs to look for domestic violence. I'm not sure if it's annually. It
okay,
might be just on orientation, but I know definitely for license renewals, our license renewals are every 2 years,
mhm,
that there's some form of domestic violence or child abuse in those renewals. You have to keep up with your education, because we know for health promotion, this is a huge topic. This is, women aren't healthy when they're being abused at home.
yeah,
They don't sleep, they don't get adequate nutrition. Sometimes they're financial, but health wise, depression,
yeah.
anxiety, stomach issues, there's a variety of things, and fractures and things like that it's affecting their health, and that should be a main priority for us for health promotion.
So the questions that are asked, because I honestly, when I went to the hospital
Hmm.
when I was beat up, it really wasn't a question if I was abused. I mean, you could see it, I
Hmm.
had my lip was, busted, my arm was hurt. So it was just obvious. So
Hmm.
the questions were very quick because I was easy to just give it up. When they asked why I was there, I said it. I was
Yeah.
beat up, type of thing. But for those individuals who go in and they're like, even if they're not with the abuser, they're on their
Hmm.
own.
Hmm.
Are the questions outright? Like, are they straight up? Like, have you been abused? Or are they like sensitive in nature? And I know you said before it depends on the
Hmm.
person
we
who's doing it. But
we
is there
try
like,
not to probe, like, is it specifically abuse. We
okay,
try to get their story first to see if it
okay,
adds up with if the injuries are consistent with what their story is.
okay,
And then if it doesn't add up, then we kind of probe a little bit more. So we're asked as nurses to probe into the story a little bit more, get a little bit more information, and and of course you have to gain that trust with that patient.
hmm,
There has to be some empathy. You can't just, have you been like, come in with that
right,
like attitude.
mhm.
No one's gonna, she's gonna put a wall up, or anyone's gonna put a wall up. So it's about how you deliver it, and creating that safe environment so they can share and speak about it.
So
So,
you're in Philadelphia. So in
mhm,
Philadelphia, geez, I'm sure that you
mhm.
had so many different types of cases and things like that. Would you say that domestic violence is like huge, like the time that you were
It is
in the
it is
ER?
huge. It's huge. I mean, if it wasn't like severe things that I would see, it was kind of like all in between, fractures and choke. I mean, and then like the law here, I don't know that if it's changed in the last couple of years, that I've worked outside of PA,
Yeah.
but like to press charges and stuff like that. You know, some states, if you have an obvious mark that's already, they're gonna do it. You don't have to file a charge or anything. They're gonna do it anyway because they see the marks.
Right.
So I don't know if PA still does it that way.
So
because there used to be like teeth missing and choked with marks on the neck, and we'll, you know, take pictures of things like that and have it in the file in the chart.
So I don't know if I heard you right or not.
No.
So you're saying outside of Philadelphia, you guys are able to press charges or make the call? Is that what you're saying?
So if you file the police report and you have obvious trauma, they will arrest the perpetrator.
Okay.
And
Wow.
that's in Jersey. I know that in Jersey that works that way. But in PA, I don't know that it definitely works that way.
Okay.
So I'm not sure. I'm not sure if the patient has to actually say, you know, I want the police called. If it was like a penetrating trauma or anything like that, gunshot, you know, knife or something like that, that would definitely be a call.
Okay, wow. So some of the other things that I looked at, it says in the ER, the responsibility when treating. It says the first thing is provide a safe environment. Establish the diagnosis of the domestic violence, I guess what type, what form. Acknowledge abuse and reassure them that it's not their fault. Treat physical injuries first. So I guess, you know, if their arms broken, things like that. Refer to shelters or other helpful organizations. Get consent to share important information to the authorities. So is that something that all across the board, always like this?
And that consent to notify authorities, that is the part that is like, we have all the information. This is all, you have everything here. Let's just make that call. Let's get you safe. I don't want to file the report.
Wow, that's so frightening.
But we have the connections. We have the social work there in our ERs. You know, we have all the resources to help people there. And that's an opportunity.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Wow. Jessica, Pure Romance Jessica says, I remember when I was pregnant, the nurse asked me if I was safe at home.
That is the way that I like to ask it. Do you feel safe at home? Everything okay?
Okay. We have a lot of different comments here. Before we do that, we're at the 22 mark. When patients come to the ER with cuts, chest pains, bruising, it's tough to ask, but necessary. There is a short window of time for an opportunity for you to ask, is what it stated. Lucy Maldonado says the question we ask in admission, she's actually a nurse too in Florida. The question we ask in admission, do you feel safe at home? So I think across the board, that's a question that maybe is the easiest to kind of say without being direct and saying, you know, are you being abused type of thing. Wow. All right. So I'm going to do this a little bit earlier than I normally do so we can continue on. So normally at this point, at the half mark, I usually get into it. But just a reminder for the folks who are watching, I see the numbers up and down. A reminder to everyone who is here, if we are dealing with any form of domestic violence, whether it is with your friends, with your loved ones, with someone that you know, remember to reach out to the domestic violence hotline at 1-800-799-7233. You can also reach us at loveshouldnothurt.com and all of our social media platforms. So again, if you guys are just joining us, we are here today with Linette Caraballo. I have a little bit of feedback, so I'm going to mute your mic for a second so I can get through that. I'm not sure if it's on my end or yours. Okay, that sounds better. So we are here today with Linette Caraballo. She actually is an RN, BSN, as you see. She worked in Philadelphia for 21 years in the ER. And we actually are getting her perspective today at dealing with domestic violence when you were in the medical profession. So that is what we were doing. I'm not sure what that feedback was. It sounds great now. I'm going to unmute. I'm not sure what that is. It's still bad. But I can hear you though when you speak.
I can't. Let me see if
I still hear you. Oh, I don't hear anything anymore. It's something.
Yeah.
As long as we can hear you and it's good. Someone said better. So at least as long as they can hear us, that's fine. I think when I talk is when we hear it. Let's look through some of these comments. A lot of them are just pretty much telling us like the show topic and everything that's going on. We do this weekly. And when we do it, we try, something it's a loud noise, and I want to try to combat that. That's not usually a problem. I'm not sure what the issue is, but let me see here. Let's see if that helps a little bit. All right. Sometimes when that ticker is going across, it gives us something. But listen, my people, I say it all the time. This is live. Eso lo que pasa. Sometimes we have technical difficulties. and we will move forward. So working in the ER, you've stepped away from that. You can unmute yourself. Let's see if that was the issue. It might have been the ticker. I'm not sure. Oh,
Yeah,
I don't hear
sounds
anything.
good. I don't hear it.
I don't hear a little bit, but so working in the ER, you did that for 21 years. But we're gonna go away from that, right? So
Mhm.
you're a medical professional. You know, you've worked in this. What you said at the beginning is that this is a topic that's important for you.
Mhm.
Why is domestic violence something that's super important for you? I'm gonna mute
Um,
my.
because I have rescued a bunch of my friends from situations where they've been locked in apartments that I had to rescue them from being abused um, at several occasions. So I've seen the hurt, I've seen the pain, I've seen the struggle getting out of the situations, or like the repeated going back into the same patterns. So I really try to kind of had that I had that compassion, I had that ear to just help people. I just want to help people get out of that situation because everyone deserves to live a happy, free, domestic violence free life, you know? Everybody deserves that. Um it's a human right, and I'm strongly against, you know, anybody feeling like they're going to be hurt every day. It affects children's families, it affects everyone. And that's why it's just such a close and near and dear thing to me.
Had to unmute myself there and make sure. I don't hear it that much. Hopefully, it was just a little back and forth. um, so your sister is actually in the medical field too. I think your family
Mhm.
is like, you guys
We're
are
all
doing your
we're
thing.
all we're all medical.
You guys look so much alike. That's so funny.
Yeah.
So working close to doctors and being in the medical field, you know, dealing with this, did you ever have, you saying that you have friends that reach out to you? Were
Yeah.
there specific reasons why they asked for you? Was it because you worked in the medical field? Have you ever had to kind of like medically assess somebody? Like say you got to a friend's house who was going through the abuse and they were hurt. Like did you have to like bandage them and, you know, clean up a wound or anything like that?
I would have to say yes on that. Yes.
Wow.
Early on, but not like recently.
Absolutely. Okay. Wow. It's
Hmm.
always amazing to me to hear different perspectives. You know, we had a police officer on a few weeks ago, and it's amazing for me to hear first responders because that's what you guys are. You know, you're the people who we go to when I'm sick
Hmm.
or I feel like something bad is happening. That's what we're gonna go to. We're gonna go to a nurse. We're gonna go to a doctor. You know, we're gonna
Right.
call a police officer if we're being abused. And it's always interesting for me to kind of hear like what your take is because you know when I walked into the emergency room when I was being abused, you know, I had no idea that they would help me or that anybody would even be sympathetic, I guess.
Hmm.
Because you know, they say that when you're in those fields for so long, like you kind of have a cold bedside manner because you've dealt with it for such a long time.
Hmm.
So I always often wonder like what so do you this is what I'm leading to. Do you ever feel like you dealt with it so much, and I guess maybe it has to do with the burnout. But do you ever feel like you dealt with this so much that it just became something you didn't want to deal with? Like when you were there, like say a domestic violence came situation came in, you were just like, I can't do this again.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. I said if I ever became that nurse, I wouldn't do that anymore.
Yeah.
I think honestly, just in trauma, that is what burnt me out. Like just death tolls and just seeing that constantly, and then children like age that were the same age as my children, that started to wear me down.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't do that anymore. I couldn't absorb any more of it. I was like in trauma, I was peer reviewing charts, I was like heavy into it. So it just became too much, just seeing too many cases of that. The violence in our city, it was just overwhelming.
Yeah. So is that
So
why you decided to take this change of what it is that you
yeah.
do?
It wasn't the lack of like, you know, because I that's my thing. Like I want people to be happy. I want everybody to be at like just energy and positive and love. Like that's what I want to put out there to the world. And when you're met with that, like that's a day-to-day thing, it wears you down. It wears you down.
Yeah, I can't even
Yeah.
imagine what it's like. I mean, I guess in one way I can, right? Because I get phone calls and text messages all day, every day.
Hmm.
So I kind of know what it feels like at the moment. But you know,
Hmm.
being in the situation where you guys are actually in the trenches per se,
Hmm.
right? I can't imagine how you guys have done it for years and years and years. And
Mhm.
especially because I get the phone calls, right? So I don't see the face. And I
Right.
get the text messages from people. I see you, Miss Cologne. Thank you. Um, I get all of the, phone calls and stuff, but I don't see it. But you're there.
Mhm.
I rarely see the abuse up front because
Mhm.
most of the time I'm trying my best to communicate with a victim via the phone, via email, via their family member who's calling for them.
Right.
Um, Talking to them through a situation. You're sitting there and you're seeing these people with the
Mhm.
black eye. You're seeing them with the
Mhm.
busted head, with the broken arm. So I can't even imagine what years and years of that would
Mhm.
feel like.
Mhm.
Thankfully, though, there's people like yourself who did it for 21 years and never stopped doing it.
Mhm.
Jennifer Rosario Perez put up a long message. I'm going to mute you for 2 seconds because I hear the feedback again. It says lots of women, men too, children and elderly, are too afraid of the perpetrator to get the help they are offered at the moment. Being compassionate and mindful of the situation and encouraging them to let someone know the situation might be the turning point for them to get the help in the near future. Absolutely, Jennifer. Thank you for your comment tonight. Um, I'm sorry. Before we continue with what it is that we are doing, we are talking about a lot of the violence that's going on in Philadelphia. I wanted to take a moment. I get emotional.
Mhm.
And I'm going to just, again, pause your mic. I wanted to take a moment and I wanted to do a moment of silence right now. Unfortunately, a life was lost this weekend. I wanted to make sure that we took time during tonight's show to take a moment of silence for this young man because Philadelphia has become just tremendous with the violence. I get emotional because I just feel like so many amazing people are lost. This past weekend, we lost a young man. His name was Joshua Soto. And I wanted to take this time tonight to give just a moment of silence for him and a moment of silence for Philadelphia. We are going through so much turmoil and so many amazing lives are lost. Ray, you can put that picture up. 2 weeks ago, he was at our gala. He was serving people with such an amazing, I mean, this boy had so much energy. He was kind, he was loving. I know the family for years. All of their children are amazing people. So I just wanted to take this moment with everyone who is watching to come together, send some love and some light to the Soto family for losing such an amazing young man. People, we are not being silent just for Joshua, but we're being silent as well for Philadelphia. I'm sorry to bring such a somber moment to the show, but I wanted to make sure that we had this moment to send some light and some love to his family. Thank you, everyone. If you have not seen it on our page, please go to our page, go to the GoFundMe. Please, if you feel it within your heart to give to this family, let's give this boy an amazing homegoing. He was 18 years old, definitely a life lost, way too young in Philadelphia. So I'm sorry to make it so somber in the middle of the show, but we continue to say that there's violence in Philly, and it's so disheartening.
It is.
Domestic violence is something that is such a norm to this
Mhm.
family. Thank you, Ray. If you are watching, in the comment section is the GoFundMe. Please click on that. Please send whatever you can, whatever donation, small or large, to the Soto family so that they can send their son off in the best way possible.
Mhm.
Domestic violence is a part of my life, right? It's
Mhm.
something that unfortunately I carry as my badge of honor, and people would say to me, "Oh my God, as your badge of honor?" Yeah, because I lived through it. I went through the violence, and I'm
Mhm.
totally a different person from who I was at that time. Um, but you guys, like I said, at the foreground in the hospitals are dealing with so
Mhm.
much, on a daily basis. You're dealing with, first of all, you're in Philadelphia. So you're dealing with not just domestic violence, you're dealing with rape victims coming in, you're dealing with gunshot wounds coming in, you're dealing with so many different things. So on here, I want to thank you, another first responder, for just being there, all those years in the hospital and dealing with what you dealt with, and doing it with your heart, because there are some individuals who just, they're burnt out, like you said, and no one can
Mhm.
blame them. It's a really difficult job. And they walk away from it. But you spent 26 years working, doing this, and you kept your heart in it. So I want to say that thank you, for doing
Thank
what you did
you.
for so long and for just being there. Every time we're on here and we talk about different domestic violence, situations, we always want to get a different perspective from different people. And you're a nurse, and
Mhm.
you've done this for so long. So knowing what and seeing what you've seen throughout the years, and being here tonight, what is it about tonight's topic that made you say, oh yeah, let me like inbox her? Because you could have just ignored when I wrote that, right? But something about it made you respond to me. So what about tonight's topic made you want to come on?
It's just a thing that we see way too often. I would love to see, some positive outcomes like come from the ER. Just have a little more trust in us as a health profession that we're here to help you. We hear you and we're here to support and do what we can. I know that all the educators, I've been in leadership for a lot of those years, 12 years. I push for people to be caring, empathetic. You know, we're dealing with people's lives and it matters. So how you present, um, and I just would love to see less of this. I just really want to see a better world, and if I could help anybody get out of a situation and live a life that they deserve to live, that would be beautiful.
So if somebody's watching right now and they're dealing with some form of domestic violence and they're scared to go into a hospital, what what would be your words for them? They might be scared to speak to a medical professional. They might be scared to divulge the information. What is it that you as a medical professional can say to them? Like, if you come in, this is what's going to happen. Trust us, things like that. Like, what would you say to
Mhm.
the person watching?
That we have the resources. We have the resources to help you. We're here to help you. We have a legal and ethical responsibility to be there for you. It's just not just because we want to, but we do have a legal responsibility to help you. But we want to help you. That's what nurses are here for. And the physician team also supports all of us in our efforts to help. And we can only meet you where you meet us, and
Yeah.
and we want to help you so much. So
Awesome.
yeah.
So a comment just went up by Jennifer Rosario Perez.
Mhm.
She says, Lynette, thank you for your perspective on this topic. Your compassion is endless. So I want to thank you so much, Lynette, for being here tonight and sharing the moment with us. What I normally do at like the 50 mark is give, the person who's on the screen time by themselves. So don't be fearful, but I'm going to leave you by yourself. We're only at the 40 mark, but I want to go to the back, step away, and just give you, it's pretty much your thoughts on what tonight's topic was about, something that you want to say that's kind of instrumental or you think would help someone listening. Just
Mhm.
whatever it is that you want to say, please do promote your business. Tell us where they can find you on social media. How can they find you if they're looking for someone who is in need of your services? All of the above. All right, babe?
Okay.
You can, I'm leaving you by yourself so that you can have your moment to speak. So can I leave you there?
All by myself. So guys, your profession, we are here for you. We're here to support you. We have the resources to connect you to for safety. Okay, we're here for you. And my services is La Mariposa Wellness Spa by Lynette. I'm over here in Conshohocken. I offer beauty services. Um, and you can find me on Instagram, La Mariposa Wellness Spa by Lynette, and on Facebook. That's it. That's all. It's not about me. It's about you tonight. And I just want everybody to be safe.
Thank you so much, Lynette. We appreciate your perspective. Thank you for all
Thank
of your
you.
years in the ER and for just being helpful to, victims that come in. It is not an easy task. I can say that as a firsthand. It is not easy to walk into an ER and just speak to someone and just have the confidence that they're going to be helped. So thank you.
Mhm.
We appreciate you for being a first responder, and thank you for
Thank
coming on
you.
tonight and helping us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night, babe.
Bye. Bye, everybody.
So normally when we're on here, we last an hour and we go through this entire thing. And, it was really difficult though for me to get through that. I know that it's kind of like a somber moment. Can I finish my sentence before you cut me?
So, I'm here to interrupt.
Clearly.
So, hopefully everybody's having a great evening. And yes, so Chrissy's probably does not know what the heck is going on. But
I just texted him and said our show is short, and he said it's okay, we can conclude.
Because there was already something in the works. So I wanted to get on and basically, first thing is tell the audience that somebody's 60th birthday. No. Somebody's birthday was yesterday, and I just wanted to let everyone know and that everybody can be, but so kind and say happy birthday in the messages and make sure that Chrissy knows how special she is. So with that said, of course, Ray has to do a little something because of the fact that Chrissy's a very, very special friend, a true special friend. So, Chrissy, I hope that you enjoy this video.
I normally know what's going on. Today, I really honestly didn't know.
So, I hope you enjoy.
Hola, what's up, Chrissy? Wishing you a very, very happy birthday. Go, Chrissy. It's your birthday. Go, Chrissy. It's your birthday. Go, Chrissy. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. Happy birthday, Chrissy.
From Amanda Squared, we wanted to wish Miss Vega a beautiful happy birthday.
Best wishes.
Just want to wish my little sister, fierce advocate, a tremendous person, and an incredible salsera, Christina Vega from Love Shouldn't Hurt, my warmest birthday wishes. My Scorpio sister, you shine so much, and we just need you to keep shining because you're impacting so many people's lives. And I just wanted to thank someone that's made North Philly really proud. Thank you so much, Christina. We care about you so much, and have a wonderful birthday.
Happy birthday, Chrissy. Hope you enjoy your day, love. Many blessings to you this year. Wish you all the best.
Happy birthday to my work twin. I hope you have a wonderful day. You deserve it. Happy birthday.
Hey, this is DJ Paulie, the Philly Rican, coming on here to wish my number one fan in Philadelphia. That would be Christina Vega. Christina Vega, happy birthday, girl. We love you. I love you. But no, thank you for all your support, you and my ladies. And thank you for including me in your events for Love Shouldn't Hurt. I'm very proud to be a partner in your endeavors. And I will continue to support you as much as possible, because like I said, you are a phenomenal woman, like you always say to other people. I'm saying it to you. Happy birthday, and God bless you. Here we go.
Say happy birthday, Nina.
Happy birthday, Nina.
Happy birthday, Chrissy.
Happy birthday, Christina. I hope you're having a wonderful day. God bless, and may you have many, many more. Happy birthday.
Estas son las mañanitas que cantaba el rey David a las muchachas bonitas, se las cantamos así. Despierta, Cristina, despierta. Mira que ya amaneció, ya los pajaritos cantan, la luna ya se metió. Happy birthday! Felicidades, Cristina, y que cumplas muchos más. Happy birthday to you, my love. May God bless you today and always on your special day. Cuídate, se te quiere.
Happy birthday, Christina. Love you.
Hi, Christina. Luz here. Just want to take a moment to wish you a happy birthday. I hope you have such a wonderful day. And yes, celebrate, honey. You deserve it. Bye.
Christina has the whole world saying love shouldn't hurt, but also birthday shouldn't hurt. So I wanted to wish you a happy birthday. Don't let that age creep in and start to hurt a little bit in those bones and those feet and those knees. Just joking. You're very young. Have a happy birthday. Keep pushing. Keep doing what you do. Inspiring the world. Inspiring younger folks to live a better life. And happy birthday.
Hey, Chrissy, happy birthday. I want to take a minute to wish you the best day ever. I hope that in this new year, your life is filled with lots of joy, lots of happiness, and that your heart is filled with a lot of love. Thank you so much for everything that you do every day to be an inspiration to others. Enjoy your day. Bye.
Hello, Christina. Happy birthday. I wish you many more years of joy and happiness, and thank you for all the work that you do in our community. God bless you.
Hey, Chrissy. Happy birthday. I hope that you've been feeling every ounce of love that you've been getting thus far, because it's well deserved. I love you too. I hope we get to celebrate many, many more. And I hope that you always remember just how special and valuable you are. Happy birthday.
Yo, Chrissy, what's going on? It's Rigo. I just wanted to say happy birthday and wish you many, 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 many blessings. I hope to see you soon and keep doing your thing, girlfriend.
Hi, Chrissy. I want to wish you a happy birthday. Have a blessing year, and may God continue to open doors for all that you wish for. Love you.
Happy birthday, Chrissy. I hope you know you are so loved and appreciated. Thank you so much for everything you do. I hope this year ahead brings you an abundance of love, success, and happiness, because you deserve it all.
Hey, Chrissy. Just wishing you a great and happy birthday. I hope that all your dreams come true. You have been, amazing. You're an amazing friend, amazing mentor to many. And just keep up the great work that you're doing. And I just wish you so many blessings, and that may God always bless you and your daughter and your family. And great things are coming. I could feel it. You're amazing.
Happy birthday to my right-hand man, my partner in crime, partner in the afterlife, the Oregon to my Nevada. Crazy time having, salsa loving, best friend. We love you.
Happy birthday, Mom. I love you. And I know you don't hear this a lot, but you're amazing.
So,
Really though?
I hope that you enjoyed it as much as I did.
That was beautiful.
It was great to have these connections with people and coming out and trying to get this all together. Chrissy, do not ever forget how special you are. Continue growing, continue just doing everything that you do, and never forget, always do it from the heart, and always put God in everything that you do. You are just simply amazing, and I just wanted to make sure that you have an amazing birthday. So, se te quiere mucho, but you know how I do. I go in, and then I leave. So, love you.
Really? He makes me cry and put my ugly face on, and then just leaves me on the screen. Oh my God. That was so beautiful. For everyone who sent me the birthday wishes, thank you so much. You guys do not know how much you absolutely fill my cups on a daily basis. Listen, wearing this invisible crown here is not easy. People expect me to be perfect, and I'm not. I have many faults, and I have a lot of hard days, but you guys absolutely keep me going. I'm ugly crying on the camera. I said I wouldn't do that anymore, so thank you, Ray. Jesus. I love all of you. I see all your comments, Ellie and everybody else. Thank you so much. I love everyone. Oh my God. I every time I knew Ray saw me in the background, every time a different face would pop up, I was like, oh my God. I appreciate all of you. You make me feel loved and appreciated all the time. Thank you so much for just making me feel amazing tonight. That was an awesome video. Thank you for everyone who contributed and everyone who's just given me love in the past 2 days. I absolutely feel blessed to have all of you in my life. With that being said, we will see you next week for our show, 7 p.m. Stay tuned for our flyer and what's to come next week. I love all of you. I appreciate all of you. And I say that genuinely. Have a good night, everybody. I'll see you next week.